Tomorrow is the day that I've been looking forward to for a very long time now. It's going to be the day that I am starting my John Muir Trail adventure. And so this has been something I've been planning for about a year now, and tomorrow's the day I'm going to drive up to Lone Pine, get my permit, and then get on the trail the next morning. And so I'm going to be hiking northbound starting at Horseshoe Meadows, and it's going to take me about 22 days total to hike the whole about 240 miles of trail, and I'm really excited. And so I have all my gear out today. I'm kind of just double checking it, making sure that I have everything I need. And while I have it out, I thought I would shoot a video to just show you all what I'm packing for my adventure. I've had a lot of family and friends ask me questions about what I'm taking and how it all works. They're new to backpacking or they don't really understand it. So I thought I'd make a video to show them. But then I also thought that somebody out there might like to see what I'm packing while they're planning their own adventure and get some tips, some pointers, some ideas of what I'm taking, because I know that I watched a lot of videos when I was getting ready for my hike, and so I thought maybe I could contribute to that in some way. So I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to show you what I'm taking for my hike. Here is the pack that I'm taking. This is an Osprey 58-liter pack, so it's kind of middle of the road, not too big, not too small, but I've found that it can fit everything that I need in it. And I am taking these trekking poles over here that I will be walking with. I've wrapped some Gorilla Tape around the handle there for emergencies if I need to repair something or if I'm getting a blister. It's easily accessible and stored right there. And then as far as protecting my pack and my gear from rain, I'm taking this Duck's Back pack from REI. I read a lot of forums saying that you don't need to spend money on a cover like this, that you can use a garbage bag to line the inside of your pack or to cover the outside, but I didn't want to have to worry about that ripping or the crinkling noise that it would make while I have it, so I just made an investment in this pack, on this cover for my pack that just kind of fits over the back nicely. This is the food that I'm taking for the first 10 days of my trail. Of my hike. The Sierras have bears, and so you have to have everything in a bear can, and that's what this is here. This fits about 6 or 7 days worth of food in there, and then this is just a lightweight pack that has my first 3 days food in it, because the way that I'm going northbound, I can actually spend my first 3 nights near bear lockers, so I'm taking advantage of that, because there's no way that this all would fit inside there with what I have in there. And so going northbound, that's one of the luxuries that you have, is that you can use those bear lockers. So I'm going to be using that to my full advantage. As far as water goes, there's plenty of water, streams, lakes on the John Muir Trail, but you have to filter it. So I'm using my Sawyer Squeeze water filtration system. Basically, you scoop the water up in this bag and then you squeeze it through the filter, and it screws on perfectly to water bottles like this. So I'm taking 2 of these smart water bottles that I will have on either side of my pack. And like I said, water is easily accessible, so I can fill that up and not have to worry about carrying too much water when I'm hiking. This is the stove that I'm going to be using. It's a Jetboil Flash. It's very efficient. It uses very little fuel and it boils water very rapidly. And so I'm actually going to be cooking inside the pot that it comes with. I'm just going to be using that to heat up water, which I'll then pour into freezer bags that I've repackaged my Mountain House freeze-dried meals into. And so you just boil the water and rehydrate them by pouring the hot water in. And this is actually a do-it-yourself koozie that I got the specs for online. The freezer bag fits perfectly in here. Then you pour the hot water in, and then this will keep it warm longer. So that it actually is more efficient. Then these are the 2 fuel canisters that I'm taking. Again, some people said you just need to take 1 big one. I'm taking 2 small ones because one of these is actually like 2/3 full, so I'll use that up first and then just dispose of that empty canister when I get to my first resupply. And I'm taking this titanium mug mainly because I am a tea drinker. I don't drink coffee, and I'm going to want something warm in the morning, so I'll be using the titanium mug. And then obviously the strainer for the tea leaves, and then the spork to eat my food. These are some of the hygiene items that I'm taking. I'm taking a lip balm, some sunscreen. This is a Gold Bond friction stick. Then I'm taking a toothbrush, some toothpaste. This is Dr. Bronner's soap, so if I need to wash my hair or do some laundry while I'm on the trail, I can use that. And then I also packed a little sponge in there if I need to clean out my stove or my drinking mug or anything along those lines. And then this is actually something that I picked up pretty last minute. This is a bidet for personal hygiene, so you can't bury any toilet paper on the John Muir Trail, so I thought that you had to pack it out, so I thought that this would actually help cut down on some of that I'd have to carry out. So I'm only taking a few wet wipes, and then mostly going to be relying on the bidet there, and then this is the really lightweight spade that I'm going to be using to dig cat holes for that. Then this is my med kit that I'm taking. In there some Neosporin, I have some Aleve, a lighter, you can see that there's a fingernail clipper, some clothespins, some repair items if I need to repair my sleeping pad, and then on the back side there I have moleskin and band-aids, basically anything that I might need for an emergency. And then my pocket knife, and this is a mosquito net. If you know anything about the Sierras, that there's lots of bugs and mosquitoes, and so I'm going to have that easily accessible, especially when I stop for the evening to cook my meals. These are the electronics that I'll be taking. Obviously, I have my headlamp there at the top there. This is a little battery pack that I can recharge my iPhone. I'm not taking any fancy camera or anything with me. I'm just taking the iPhone that I'm actually shooting this video on. But this will recharge my iPhone about 4 times, which is great. Then these are the cords to recharge those when I get to my resupply points where there'll be electricity. This is headphones to listen to music if I want to. And then I'm taking 2 of these plugs, and this is a hack that someone else actually told me, but when you get to Muir Trail Ranch especially, there's limited power supply, limited plugs at least. So in my first resupply, I actually packed a little power strip that I can plug multiple things into. And this takes a little longer to charge in my iPhone, so I'll have 2 plugs there, and then lots of other plugs that I can make friends, and they won't have to wait in line. They can just use my power strip to charge their stuff. And then I'm taking an ID, credit card, and then some cash as well. Here are some luxury items that I decided to take. Taking some reading material. This is a book that I've read before that I really enjoy. Thought it would be perfect for out on an adventure to read it again. This is a data book. This is super cool because it actually has like elevation plots in here, more maps. In the back, it actually has like photos of peaks when you're standing at certain vantage points. So it's not very thick, very lightweight. So I'm going to take that. These are maps, just the maps that I need for my first 10 days, and then the rest I packed in my resupply bucket. So those are maps that I'm going to be using to kind of navigate while I'm out there. I'm taking a pen and a journal, and then I'm actually taking my Bible as well. Hopefully I'll have a lot of downtime to read that. And then this is just a dry sack that I can put my iPhone or any other electronic items or paper items that I don't want to get wet if it starts to rain. This is the sleeping bag that I'm taking. It's a North Face Cat's Meow 20-degree bag, and it will scrunch into this sack, and I can compress it down really small, and it fits in the bottom of my pack very nicely. And then this is the sleeping pad that I'm using. It's a Big Agnes, like inflatable mattress almost. It's really nice. I've slept on that many nights, and it's great. It adds a lot to the comfort of sleeping on the ground. And then this is something that I've actually never used before, but it's a pillow that inflates. I inflated it up and laid on the ground a little bit with it, and it's pretty nice. And I've read reviews where they said that pillow can make all the difference between a good night's rest, and so I'm going to be trying that out. A tennis ball just to kind of work out my feet after a long days on the trail. They can kind of get some blood circulating back in there, so I'm going to take that. These are hammock straps, and this is a hammock. This is something I went back and forth on about whether or not I should bring it. I'm not going to be using this to sleep in. This is purely just a luxury item, but it weighs under 7 ounces, so it doesn't weigh anything, and I think there'll be plenty of opportunities for me to put it up if I'm in a beautiful place and I want to string it up between some trees and just kind of sit and take the weight off my feet for a little bit, or if I'm making camp and I'm camping near trees, rather than sit on the ground, I can put the hammock up. And I'm glad that I made that investment and got that hammock. And then this is the tent that I'm going to be sleeping in. This is a Big Agnes Fly Creek tent, I believe. Weighs about 2 pounds. And these are the stakes and the poles for that tent. Moving over here to where I have my clothing laid out. This is just a dry sack that I'm going to be putting my clothes in so that they don't get wet. These are the rain items that I'm taking. This is my raincoat, just a North Face rain jacket. And then these are a nice pair of Patagonia rain pants that I have a buddy who's a Navy SEAL, and he got me a big discount on these pair of pants that I can use not only for when it's raining, but if it's cold, and then they're windproof as well. This is the big puffy jacket that I'm taking for those cold nights. I have a beanie and some gloves. And then these are long johns that I can throw on at night if I need to sleep in them or if I'm around camp and it's cold. And then this is just a layer item. It's a long sleeve kind of jacket type thing that in the morning when I start hiking, if it's chilly, I can have that on and I can peel it off really quickly. Then this is what I'm going to be sleeping in. This is my sleeping system. I have a long sleeve shirt to sleep in, one pair of boxers that I'm just going to put on when I'm sleeping, and then these are athletic shorts that I can either sleep in if it's warm enough to sleep in those, or I can use those to hike in. I'm always going to have 3 pairs of socks, and so I'll be wearing one at night, then one to hike in, and then a spare that I can either rotate out when I'm not using it. And then these are my camp shoes that after a long day of hiking, you don't really want to be wearing the same shoes you're in all day, so I can put these sandals on, and I can also use them to cross creeks if I need to, so my shoes don't get wet. And then this over here is just clothing that I'm going to be wearing on my person while I'm hiking. So that's an outdoor research hat that has these flaps that fold down to protect your neck from the sun. This is a pair of glasses that I'm going to be wearing, and then my Sun 2 watch that tells me elevation, temperature. It's a pretty fancy little watch that I got for Father's Day. And then a shirt. This is a buff that I'll be wearing. A pair of boxers, my pants that convert into shorts if I need them to, socks, and then my shoes that I'm going to be hiking in, which are these guys right here. So those are all the things that I'm going to be taking with me for my 22-day trip through the Sierras on the John Muir Trail. Hopefully you found this insightful. Maybe you learned something, or maybe you saw some of the things that I was taking and you can't believe I'm not taking as much as you thought I should, or there's some items that you can't believe I am taking, my luxury items. But one of the things that I learned while I was planning this whole thing is that people kept saying to hike your own hike. And so I probably have some stuff that I'm not going to use, some stuff that I wish I had that I don't have. And so maybe I'll do a video when I get back to kind of explain what I would do differently if I was going to hike this thing again. But thanks for watching, and hopefully you found this insightful, and maybe you can use it to help you plan your own hike. I know I watched a lot of videos as I was preparing, so hopefully I can contribute back to that. So thanks so much, and maybe I'll see you out on the trail.